You're in a medieval court where power smells like perfume on top and like panic underneath. Congratulations, you just got hired for the underneath. The job title sounds classy, Groom of the Stool. In reality, you're the king's private bathroom manager. Yes, that's Stool. This is a high honor because you're near the king. Medieval logic, proximity to power equals prestige, even if it's in a toilet room. Your friends hear royal servant and imagine silk. You hear royal servant and imagine scheduling the king's bodily functions. You're chosen because you're discreet, loyal, and replaceable. The king trusts you with secrets nobody should ever know exist. At dawn, you wait outside the privy chamber like it's a board meeting, except the agenda is digestion and fear. The king eats like a champion. Your brain does math, more food equals more work. You quietly pray for smaller meals. You carry towels, water, herbs, and a sponge. That sponge has seen history. It deserves a pension and therapy. Courtiers envy you. They think you're whispering political secrets. You are mostly about constipation and mood swings. Your office is warm, private, and terrifying. One wrong move and you're not fired, you're punished for disrespect. The king doesn't say thank you. He says again like you're a human service button attached to a throne-shaped nightmare. Rule 1. Keep a straight face. If you laugh, gag, or flinch, your career becomes a very short biography. Rule 2. Never repeat what you see. Even to yourself. Trauma is safer when it stays unspoken in your skull. Welcome to the role you're close enough to influence the kingdom and close enough to smell how fragile it is. Morning begins with the king's breakfast and your anxiety. Every bite he takes is a countdown timer you can hear in your soul. When the call comes, guards clear the hallway. Not for privacy, for security. Assassins love bathrooms. History is disgusting. You escort the king to the privy chair, a fancy box with a hole. It's royalty's way of pretending biology is elegant. You hold the towel like it's a sacred relic. Because in this room, the towel is basically a national security asset. While the king does his business, you stand nearby, eyes down, alert both servant and human firewall at once. You hand him water-scented herbs and cloth. The goal is comfort. The result is you knowing way too much. Sometimes he talks politics mid-session. You nod like an advisor, while your brain screams, "I'm in a bathroom." Sometimes he says nothing. That silence is worse. Silence means he's judging you, or plotting, or bored. Afterward, you clean. Carefully. Quietly. Like your life depends on it, because it does, and everyone knows it. You dispose of waste unseen. The court wants power without proof that power is made of flesh and fluids. Your hands smell like herbs all day. People assume it's perfume. You let them. Some truths shouldn't be corrected. At feasts, nobles glare. They think you're stealing influence. You are because the king trusts the towel guy. Then comes paranoia. Sponge, poisoned water, poisoned towel, poisoned. Everything can be poisoned in this palace. You start testing everything with eyes and nose, like a paranoid sommelier, except the vintage is humiliation. One day, the king has stomach pain. Everyone panics. You're the closest witness, so you become the closest suspect. Guards question you like you invented disease. You explain herbs, meals, routines, anything to sound useful and alive. You survive, but now you understand your job isn't just gross. It's dangerous because power attracts betrayal. You go back to work next morning. In court, trauma isn't a reason to rest. It's proof you're still employed. By week 3, you can predict moods by bowel patterns. That's a skill nobody asked for and nobody applauds. You become the king's trusted ear. Not because you're brilliant, because you're present during unguarded moments. Courtiers try bribing you. They slip coins, favors gossip. You smile thinking, I handle waste, not ethics. Some nights, you can't eat. You smell phantom herbs. Your brain replays the privy like a cursed slideshow. Still, pay improves. Clothes improve. Life improves. Your dignity does not improve, only the price of pretending does. Months pass, and you become powerful by accident. The king speaks freely around you because he assumes you're invisible. In court, invisibility is a superpower. Everyone underestimates the servant, then the servant controls the schedule. You control access, who sees the king before breakfast, who gets a word after lunch, who gets ignored for weeks. Nobles smile at you now. Yesterday they sneered. Today, your dear friend. Funny how respect follows the towel. You keep notes in your head, allies, enemies, moods, stomach issues. You're the kingdom's grossest strategist. The king asks your opinion sometimes. Not policy people. He trusts your read because you've seen him at his weakest.
The kingdom depends on you now.
You realize the irony. The man who commands armies still needs help with a basic human function. Power is fragile. Your perks are real: warmer rooms, better food, softer cloth. Every perk is a reminder of why you're there. At banquets, you stand behind the king like a shadow. Everyone watches, you watch him. Politics becomes a stare-off. Enemies spread rumors. Corrupt, cursed witch. They can't attack you directly, so they attack your smell and your role. You stay calm. Calm looks like confidence. Confidence looks like influence. Influence makes people afraid to touch you. You're in meetings now. Not officially, just happen to be nearby. The bathroom becomes an unofficial cabinet room. One day, a noble begs you to pass a message. You do. The message changes everything. You moved history with a sponge. The king rewards you a ring, a title, a house. Everyone hates you more. Success is loud. Resentment is louder. You wear nicer clothes. The court pretends you're respectable. The job hasn't changed, only the price of pretending did. Your hands are clean, but your mind isn't. You've learned too much about power and too much about hemorrhoids. You realize you can't quit. Quitting insults the king. Insulting the king is a hobby with permanent consequences. One winter illness spreads. Everyone fears plague. The king's digestion becomes a daily national crisis and you're front line. They bring doctors' leeches, weird remedies. You coordinate and watch, waiting to be blamed when medieval medicine fails. Then it happens, a poisoning rumor. Someone claims privy supplies were tampered with. The court goes feral instantly. Guards storm your room and seize towels, herbs, water. Suddenly, your linen closet is treated like an arms cache. They interrogate you for hours. Not because you did it, because you're convenient. Fear loves convenience over truth. A rival, noble points fingers. A priest mutters curses. Everyone adds drama because drama feels like control. You recite your routines like a scientist who delivered water, who handled cloth, who entered the room. Memory is armor. The king is furious, not at poisoners, at embarrassment. Royal dignity hates being reminded of biology in public. Now the palace wants a purge. Kitchens, servants, doctors, everyone is suspect. And you are Exhibit A in the panic. You survive because the king remembers you were loyal in the gross moments. That loyalty becomes your shield today. But the shield is thin. One bad mood, one cramp, one rumor, and your head becomes decoration for the gate. So you tighten procedures, sealed water, guarded herbs, fresh cloth. Your job becomes a paranoid supply chain operation. The king trusts you more. Courtiers hate you more. Congratulations, competence creates enemies faster than incompetence. A servant is caught with suspicious powder. Maybe guilty, maybe not. The court needs a scapegoat, so it receives one. The punishment happens off-screen, but fear stays on-screen. Everyone learns one rumor can end you here. After the purge, your status rises. The king says you saved him, meaning you saved him from feeling vulnerable. You get gifts and land. Public respect grows. Private reality stays. You still stand by a toilet chair with a towel. At night, you can't sleep. Not guilt, paranoia. You hear footsteps and wonder who wants your job and your secrets. Years pass. Your back aches. Your hands are steady. Your mind is tired. You've aged faster than the king's dignity. A new heir rises. The prince looks at you with disgust and curiosity, like a relic from an embarrassing era. When the old king dies, court mourns loudly, then moves on instantly. Grief in palaces is scheduled like meetings.
Let's take one of mine down to
The new king doesn't want your face near his bathroom. He wants fresh staff and fresh lies about being above humanity. So you're dismissed politely, which is medieval for go away. They hand you a purse and a door. You leave with money and memories nobody should have. You know, power works, it sweats, fears, and needs help. You die, not glorious, not honored, just human. The kingdom continues, still pretending kings don't poop ever. So yes, it sucked. High risk, high access, and brutally humiliating because power is human, and humans are messy.